Hi, welcome aboard. Well, as is quite obvious from this beautiful scene behind me, spring is pretty well upon us here on the Gold Coast, and we're looking forward to a really big season for Leisure World over the coming year or so. In fact, because of our new air times, particularly on Prime in New South Wales and Victoria, we have a lot of brand new content coming along and some truly exciting subjects. Now this week, a little later, we're going to reintroduce an old friend of ours. Nev Howard, as far as I'm aware, was the first person ever to present fishing as a regular presenter on a weekly television show. From around about early 79 until about 85, Nev was on pretty well every week. And his fishing presentations were so popular that we still get requests for Nev to come back. Well, this week, Nev is back. We'll join him a little later. We'll also be taking a look at a very interesting area on the New South Wales coast, which is the Forster Tuncurry area. We'll be taking you on a tour of some of the attractions of Forster and Tuncurry. But first of all, we're going to move further north to the Hervey Bay, Fraser Island area and look at something that happens every year at about this time in that area. We're going to go whale watching. Australia is very fortunate in that our east coast is a highway along which whales migrate between their breeding grounds and the Antarctic. The humpbacks made in the Antarctic travel north to the Whitsundays during gestation, calve there, and then move south to Hervey Bay, where they pause for 3 months or so to allow the infants to grow before returning to the feeding grounds in the Antarctic. As a result, Hervey Bay is the only place on the coast where significant numbers of whale families stay in the one place for an extended time period. For this reason, between August and November each year, Hervey Bay becomes a world centre for whale watching, both for tourism and research purposes. In order for people to be able to observe the whales in safety and comfort, large stable vessels with an experienced crew are essential, along with an infrastructure which provides catering, land transport, easy access to the vessels, and an assurance that everyone will see large numbers of whales. Departure is from Hervey Bay Boat Harbour, which has been developed specifically for the purpose of handling large numbers of people safely and quickly. Foremost among Hervey Bay's whale watch companies is Sid Melksham's Whale Connections. Sid has spent most of his working life on Fraser Island and has developed Eurong Beach Resort from a wilderness into a superb beachfront resort, which is the hub of all tourism activities on the island. His services include a fleet of four-wheel drive coaches which take people on day and overnight excursions on the island. He also provides water transport to the island from both Hervey Bay and Rainbow Beach with a number of vehicular ferries. These operations, developed over decades, have given Sid and his staff a fine appreciation of the logistics of providing thousands of both local and overseas visitors with an island stay they will never forget. And that experience has been applied to the whale watch activities. The fleet comprises 2 catamarans, the MV Islander, which is 30 metres long and carries 275 people, and the Discovery 1, which is 25 metres long and carries 250. Both are fast and stable and are laid out so that everyone has a superb view. Radio links between the various vessels plying the bay ensure that when there is a sighting, everyone knows about it, and it's usually a short trip to where the action is. The whales have become used to the boats, and whilst there are rigid guidelines as to distance that the vessels are allowed to approach the whales, once the vessels are stationary, the whales are happy to come in close and put on a show. The experience of being so close to these leviathans of the deep affects everyone, and a hush falls over the boat as the whales broach and play alongside, rolling on their sides to look back at the observers. The experience is greatly enhanced by the use of underwater microphones which amplify the whale's song throughout the boat. Pods of whales are scattered all over Hervey Bay, and the day is spent moving from pod to pod, experiencing new delights at each stop. We even got a glimpse of a rare southern right whale with a calf. The southern right is thought to be an endangered species, and there was much excitement at the sighting, indicating that they may be making a comeback. This is an experience which I'm sure will never be forgotten by anyone who has come into contact with these giant creatures. And a trip to Hervey Bay during the season is a must, particularly for the kids. Whatever you do, allow several days in the area to enjoy all of its other attractions, especially the delights of Fraser Island and Eurong Beach Resort. A short time ago we visited the beautiful Forster region, which is an easy 3.5 hours drive north of Sydney. Forster is located at the mouth of Wallace Lake, a huge stretch of clear water which provides Australia with some of the most delicious oysters grown anywhere. The lake is famous for its fishing, and hire boats as well as houseboats are available. The fishing co-op is located at the Tuncurry end of the bridge and is a favourite spot when the trawlers come in each morning. By the way, if you want to enjoy some of the best seafood in the country in a great atmosphere, try Johnny and Mina's restaurant in the shopping centre opposite the co-op. Forster is the perfect destination for those who enjoy a traditional Australian seaside holiday. The business centre bustles with activity, and there's every kind of shop, including supermarkets. There's a range of accommodation from backpackers through caravan parks and motels to resorts, and some of the best scenery on the coast is available within a 45-minute drive. If one takes the lake's way south and follows the signs, Seal Rocks and Sugarloaf Point, with its lighthouse, offers a couple of caravan parks and camping facilities, along with superb swimming and fishing. By the way, a visit to the lighthouse is a must, and four-wheel drive access to the beach is available here. This stretch of coast features rocky headlands interspersed with white sandy beaches, mostly deserted, and ideal for a spot of fishing, swimming or sunbathing. Wallace Lake is the northernmost of a line of lakes beginning with the Myalls. In between is Smith's Lake, closed to the sea for most of the year by a sandbar, and here we find Solito Beach, accessed from the car park by a boardwalk which was built by the Pacific Palms Promotional Group with federal funds supporting the Skillshare program. This enables people to access the beach without impacting the frontal dune vegetation. The western side of the lake is also beautiful, and a stay at Galway Downs Lakeside Country House will allow you to relax in the lap of luxury right beside the lake. The Forster area is a beautiful place, easily accessible from anywhere on the east coast. You can take your choice of modern or traditional facilities in a setting which combines beautiful scenery, great fishing and boating, magnificent secluded beaches and the wilderness experience, all within easy reach of wherever you may stay. The oyster industry started in this area around the turn of the century. And for all the years since, the Barclay family has been involved in growing oysters and establishing this industry in the area. Now, over that period of time, a lot of changes have taken place in the way in which oysters are grown and harvested. There's been a lot of attention given to the quality of the final product and also to the way in which they're actually done, new mechanical assistance and that sort of thing. We'll talk to Graham Barclay about that in just a moment. But anybody who comes to Forster looks at this superb clear water and tastes one of their oysters will never forget the experience. Graham, I can't believe how clear the water is.
Yeah, well, it's that's Wallace Lake for you. It's always been a beautiful, clear, crystal water, and the quality of it is excellent. And our oysters are growing right in the middle of all that beautiful water.
We're looking here at some footage of your guys lifting the beds, the trays.
Yeah.
That's on a specially built barge?
Yeah, all our barges have got cranes in them now and trolley lines. What we do, when I first started oyster farming 30 years ago, we used to all lift by hand, and we've all got bad backs now from years and years ago. So that, as everyone's ideas have come in now, we've all put ideas in and we've all got these little cranes, and they really work terrific, which we can do there now. It's 10 minutes you can lift 80 trays in a board and you're punting, you're gone.
So apart from productivity, there's also a workplace health and safety benefit there.
Yeah, we had to, because oyster farmers 30 years ago, you can see the old guys. My dad, he had a bad back. Most of them all got bad backs from lifting over the sides of the punch. Well, we don't do that anymore. It's just, you know, it's just wears you out, and it's not right. So we've all got new ideas now, and it's working great.
Now, these oysters that are coming in on these trays are quite large. How long does it take them to get to that stage?
Well, they're 3-year-old now, and they'll be going out, be graded this week, and next week they'll be purified, and they'll be going out to the markets next week.
You're telling me that a short time ago they were spawning, and it was really quite spectacular. What happens then?
Yeah, well, it's not real good for us, because we can't sell the oysters when they're spawning. When it's a really high tide, the water gets real clear, and the top of the hide, before it changes, they all open their mouths and they spit out all this milk, and that's the spawn that the larvae that goes around, and actually it looks like in 3 weeks it looks like a grain of sand with a tail, and they got to unite, and that makes one oyster, and they go along and stick on all our cement sticks we got out to catch them.
You're telling me that the fish love it?
Oh, the fish slaughter it, thank goodness, because we'd have too many oysters otherwise.
Yeah, obviously that's a normalising factor in the population levels.
Yeah, but thank God the brim are around to eat it and the mullet, because we'd have too many oysters.
Now, we just saw some fish actually behind you over the top of the beds there, just break the surface of the water. They're obviously very popular with the fish and also with the fishermen.
Yeah, they're very hard to catch. They're cunning, and generally if you get a good fish on, he'll chop you off around a pole. I know, like last night, one of our workers was out here and he had a big one on, and it just chopped him clean off, and he was so cranky.
As far as I can ascertain, Nev Howard was the first person ever to present fishing as a regular segment on a weekly television show. And Nev came aboard first with us in 1979, very early 1979, and was with us until about 1985 or 1986. And as a result of that, we generated quite a lot of videos, and you'll see in just a moment just how useful Nev's information is as far as rigging lines up, etc. are concerned. And we're looking forward to having Nev aboard on a regular basis over the next year or so to continue his very informative fishing segments. Well, Neville, there are a number of things I wanted to talk to you about, catch up on with you. I wanted to talk a little later about a different type of bait that my butcher told me about, and you kept a secret from me, of course, deliberately. We're near the end of winter and it's bream season, isn't it?
Yes.
And we're going to have a look today at terminal end for bream,
Yes.
the ideal terminal end for
Yes.
bream.
How to rig?
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
for a bream. Firstly, the line that would be using would be 8 to 10 pound. And there's different lines these days where you can say, all right then, they're big bream here, I'll get a line which is about 14 pound, but a very, very thin line. Now you can buy these lines these days and they're very good where you get the strength, but you still keep the very thin line.
So a thin line is desirable for bream?
Oh yes, yes, yes. Thin line is desirable for any fish, but of course some fish are that big that they take the advantage away.
Yes.
We can't give them too much of an advantage, Chris. Now, the first thing is the swivels that we want. Now you can buy ordinary swivels like this one here, which is just a brass barrel swivel, or you can buy a rolling swivel. I prefer the rolling swivels because they're black for a start, and a very good swivel. I use them for bream, I use them for mackerel, I use them for everything.
Are they all the same size?
No, I was
Right.
just going to say, the only difference is the poundage on them.
Right.
So we'll just grab that again. You've got the sinker.
And that's above the swivel?
That's above the swivel, yes.
The swivel acts as a stopper for it?
Yes,
And you've got a very long trace?
yes,
And obviously that allows the bait to float more naturally.
yes. Okay, now
Right.
that length of line as the leader is, what, 2 foot long?
Yeah, about
Half a
600.
metre?
Yeah, about
Yeah.
600 millimetres.
Those funny things.
And yeah.
Okay, now you're ready to cast that out using whatever you like for bait out of a boat.
All right, now that gives me a perfect introduction to this bait that I was talking about.
Yeah.
And Nev, my young bloke Benny has an axolotl, a Mexican walking fish, and we feed him and have done for years on chopped up ox or sheep's heart.
Mm.
And I was in the butcher's the other day buying it, and he said, you know, a lot of the fishermen come in here and they buy this cut into strips for bait, and they reckon it's a fish killer.
Yes, bream certainly do go for it, my word.
Is that right? Well, you want to show us how to put that on the
The
hook?
way I'd put that on is that I'd take it. Oh, gee! Feed that to the fish.
Yeah.
You can see why they like using it, Chris. It's very tough.
Yes.
Now, what I would do, I would take that there like that and just make two and have it like that with that off
Okay.
the end.
With the
That would give that effect in the water.
Yes.
You with me?
yes.
The movement.
Yeah.
That's the way I would rig that bait.
Okay, so you wouldn't actually cover the hook with it.
No,
Right.
no.
And just leave that little tail sticking out.
If I was to go do this type of thing with it,
Yes.
all the way down, that would tend to slip down there, and what does it do? It
Yeah.
chokes the hook up.
Yes.
You with me?
Of course.
What you need is something that that the hook is completely bare, so that it can
It can grab the
actually
fish.
hook the fish.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's get that in and see what happens.
Okay.
Okay. And Nev, you're using an Alvey reel there, a side cast?
Yes. Yes, I am. That reel, Chris, would be 20-year-old.
Is that right, eh?
Probably. Yeah. I wouldn't know. I've
No.
had it that long.
Yeah.
The rod, I've had that a long time also. That is the reason I use this gear, is because I can throw it in the sand, kick it along the beach. I can do what I like with it, wash it down if I want to,
Yeah.
or wash it in the salt water,
Yeah.
and it still comes up
course,
fishing next time.
It's
I
all
go.
stainless steel, so
yes,
you're not. There's
yes.
no corrosion.
No, stainless and the
Plastic.
and
yes.
the plastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now you're holding that in a special way.
Yes.
You got the line over your finger.
Yes, I've got the real position that I've got the the balance of the rod.
Right.
I'm holding the rod with my thumb and forefinger and letting the reel rest on my little finger.
Yes.
So that I got a good grip of it there. Then the line comes over the finger, because the line is the telegraph between you and the fish.
Yes.
You would know if there's something biting that by virtue of the line over the finger.
Neville, it's been wonderful to have you back aboard, and we're going to do this regularly. And with a bit of luck, we'll go and chase and catch some decent fish over the coming year or two.
Yes.
And thanks for being with us.
It's a pleasure.
Before I go this week, we had a lot of calls during the week from people giving us very positive comments on our detailed coverage of the Pajero Exceed from Zups on the Gold Coast. And it's been a great pleasure for me to be able to have a vehicle for a full 4 weeks, to put 3,000 or so kilometres on it, and to assess it in depth with the support of the factory. And as I said last week, some of the pictures that you saw there came from the Mitsubishi promotional tape, which apart from Chris Conroy's Leisure World would not be seen by people unless they went in to actually buy the vehicle. And it truly is interesting, and it gives us an idea of just how solidly the technology of four-wheel drives and general road vehicles are growing, and what great benefits they represent to the average motorist. Now, we'll be covering one vehicle every month for the next 12 months or so, perhaps a little longer. So keep your eye open for that on the show, and I'll let you know what the next vehicle will be next week. That wraps us for another week. We'll see you next week with another show. In the meantime, take care and safe boating.